Hi, everybody, and welcome in. That's the music, and that means it's time for... Come on, everybody, say it together. Three guys before the game. It's our 407th episode. Title, Transfer Portal Gone Wild.
That's a good one.
That's right. Won't be long before that bus pulls onto your campus. Got a big X where it said Chicks Gone Wild, and it just says Transfer Portal Gone Wild. Same leasing company from the bus company. They're done with that one they've been using for the other thing. Now it's just Transfer Portal, because the reality is everyone's getting on that bus. Everyone's hopping on that bus, going somewhere else, so you better get on the bus. Transfer Portal Gone Wild.
They're passing each other on the interstate.
They are like, oh, yeah, there goes.
There goes one team. Here comes another.
So we're going to break down the Big 12 basketball rosters and show you and talk about how the transfer portal has impacted the league like never before. Like never before have rosters been churned with such symmetry and with such frequency. We'll do that. We'll also talk some Mountaineer football since the last time we got together. We'll also get into your texts as well. Good text as usual. And a couple of items on set as well that we will get into. One delicious assortment of items we were given. Plus, we've got a promotion for you as well. Three guys before the game, brought to us by Comax Business Systems, full-service Konica Minolta dealer. Go to Comax Business Systems at comaxwv.com. And by the Burdett Camping Center, the only warranty forever RV dealer in all of West Virginia. Visit them at burdettcamping.com. Don't let that slip by you really quickly. I said the only warranty forever RV dealer in all of West Virginia. Only one. You buy it there, the warranty lasts forever. Located in Winfield. Visit them on the web at burdettcamping.com, burdettcamping.com. They've got a great promotion coming up we'll talk about in just a second. I think you'll find neat. And let me just say we just jump right in. You good? Y'all good?
Oh,
Y'all
yeah.
good? Y'all
Yeah.
good? Let's do it.
Yeah.
How are we? Good?
Good.
We may be a little bouncier than normal on the program because one of the items that was presented to us just before we went on the air contained sweets. And with the sweets, the sugar, makes you a little bit bouncier. Two of the three people on set participated and ate from the goods that were delivered. The other older person said, no, I'm fine. I bring my own popcorn to the movies. I'm fine.
No,
I was impressed with his discipline, to be honest, because you and I just tore through we could barely get the picture off before we were starting to eat.
I thought it was
Principal
they look
stayed
so
strong.
nice. I felt bad about
About eating them?
eating it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
They are sweet.
Plus, I like to have a meal then dessert after the meal.
Excuse me?
I like to have.
Perfect start to the show.
What'd you say?
I like sweets. I have a sweet. I like to have a meal and then the dessert after the meal.
Is that how they serve you at the senior center?
You don't want to get out of order? I mean,
First,
No, I don't. There's nothing.
Listen.
What is it? I like to have a meal, and then I have a sweet tooth, and have something. I don't want to have like a cookie before dinner.
Are you 7?
No, wait a minute. Your wife.
You're an adult. You can do whatever you want. If you want a cookie before dinner now, you can do that.
I understand. It is my choice. I'm just saying, Brad, when Laura makes a nice dinner, do you go in like dinner's going to be right at 6? Do you go in at 5:45 and start eating cookies?
If somebody had dropped off a plate of really good cookies and they were sitting on our counter while she was making dinner, absolutely, I'd be pounding cookies before dinner.
And then you don't finish your dinner.
Well, I mean, you know
and
me.
Gigi says you spoiled your dinner.
I
didn't
would
you,
finish
Eddie?
the dinner as well. Now I would have the dinner also.
You're a man of form. I mean, you're very.
That's what I said. Myers discipline.
I mean, you're very. So
I'm not as no.
I want, honey. I'd like the iced tea first, then bring the little house salad in. We're going to put the dressing on that. We'll have that, and then we're going to bring the entree. Now, I'll chew each thing 32 times and swallow, and then following that, we'll have our dessert.
It's not that bad, but I am a person of routine.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. Okay.
So
I side with you on that.
Oh, okay.
I agree.
All right.
That's just I would break it for food, but
I understand.
I get you.
You know what?
I feel you on that.
Now I'm getting really hungry.
Well,
On a cookie?
we'll open those in a minute. You can try one.
Cookies down.
Hey, before we jump in here, Burdette Camping this week, really good promotional idea. So check this out. It's interactive.
Excuse me?
It's interactive. This is
nice.
This is super nice. Like, this is not, I don't know if you can tell, but this is like high quality, and I love the handle. So you don't have to put it on your back. You could also carry it like a suitcase, obviously. Trademark, right? So it's approved by trademark and licensing.
Yeah.
It's a low-go lifetime warranty backpack cooler. This is a backpack.
It's a cooler.
Yeah, you could put Hoppy Kercheval's in here. You could put about
wait. That's a cooler?
Yeah, it's a cooler.
I thought it was just a backpack.
No, it's a cooler. No, it's a cooler.
So you could put some Kercheval's in there.
You could put Kercheval's in here and just carry it. It's a logo cooler. So
Now that is nice.
This is what we're doing. Here's the dealio. It'll limit some of you that aren't in the area, but that's just unfortunately the way that it is. The first person that texts a picture this coming Saturday afternoon from the WVU volleyball match against Baylor at the Coliseum, and you text that to 304-404-4083, 304-404-4083, our text number. The first one that comes in with a picture from West Virginia playing Baylor, I need to see West Virginia, I need to see Baylor on the Coliseum floor, time-stamped. You will receive this, and it will be, based on what the folks want at Burdette, it will be autographed by the three guys.
It will?
Which will drop the value down to about $20.
Just going to say that hurts it.
Yeah, it takes it from over $100 to about $20. But we're going to autograph that. But so here's the deal. Go to the volleyball match Saturday afternoon, text the picture, first one in, timestamp 304-404-4083. And don't be doing any of that artificial intelligence stuff. Like, don't try to give us the old fast one there, putting a Baylor and a
don't do
the old scam job. We've got forensic scientists on staff here.
I think it'd be better if we didn't sign, because if we sign it, it's going to look like it's got marks on it. Probably shouldn't.
Just sign the bag. That's what they want.
All right. Okay.
Three guys before the game. As I said, let's do a little football here before we do into the break into the basketball. Neil Brown held his press conference since the last time we got together. We got together on Monday. He conversated on Tuesday. And coming out of that, a couple of things. One, to no great surprise, C.J. Donaldson will not play against Baylor a week from we record day, Thursday here today. But what was more of note that people didn't know is that three other Mountaineer players were concussed during the game. He did not say who those folks were, and so, number one, you don't know who they are, and then you don't know if they, in fact, will be able to get the clearance, go through the protocol that needs to be cleared before you can play again.
So there were 4 total players that were concussed in that Texas game.
Correct.
Wow. Goodness gracious. It's a rough night in a lot of ways.
Yes. Yeah, very much so. So we'll see how that all plays out. Like West Virginia, Baylor has the weekend off. And it goes without saying the significance and the importance of that game. Yeah, you've got an opportunity at a home date to go 3-3. That's what you shoot for here before you go back on the road a week from this coming Saturday against the Red Raiders. Well, not a week from this coming Saturday, 2 weeks from against the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. So we've got that, plus just super really good games this weekend in the conference that are going to draw a lot of attention. You know that ESPN Game Day is going to be at TCU in Kansas. See how that plays out. I think that Kansas's magical start is about to get tempered. I think they've been fantastic to this point, but I do think that their defense is going to catch up with them. And I think right now TCU's playing high octane, but again, can TCU go out back-to-back weeks and really cook? I don't know. We'll see. But
that line's starting to get up there.
Is it? What is
7. It? TCU by 7 on the road in front of a sold-out Jayhawk crowd. I tend to side with you, Tony. I mean, if you just look at the last week's performance, Kansas, that streak should have come to an end already. Iowa State's kicker misses three field goals. Kansas could not move the football. But I don't know if that says more about Iowa State's offense or Kansas's defense, that Iowa State couldn't score either.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they couldn't move, Kansas couldn't move the ball on Iowa State, especially in the second half, but Iowa State couldn't take advantage of that.
And also, I mean, TCU, I know Oklahoma's defense has problems, but still they got still Oklahoma. I mean, TCU just ran wild
and hard. Wild and hard. So the weekend's games, besides TCU, Kansas, Red River Shootout, Texas and Oklahoma, high noon as usual. Texas Tech at Oklahoma State. You'll get an opportunity to look at West Virginia's next opponent. The Cowboys, 9.5-point favorite in that contest.
Which that's going to be something to watch, because there's a lot of people now saying they think Oklahoma State's the best team in this league, starting to talk about them as a playoff team, watch them for the West. They had played nobody until they went on the road and beat Baylor. That's a nice win, but if you start to look at some of the underlying metrics there from that game, that's probably a Baylor win that it let slip away there. Kickoff return was massive for Oklahoma State that swung and changed that game. So keep an eye on that one. That's not a gimme either.
I don't know why I got to take a shot at their Oklahoma State schedule before. I mean, they played Central Michigan.
Gave up 44.
Played Arizona State.
Who's in shambles.
Fired the coach. Who's UAPB?
Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Yeah. Played them too. Pretty much the creme of the creme. Okay. So we'll see. Oklahoma State has scored 58, 34, 63, and 36. Might have a little something offensively going there.
Haven't played anybody yet.
Well, Sanders is back for his...
And has been playing well.
Yeah,
he's been playing really well.
Barry? Oh, Spencer
Sanders.
Oh, okay. So we'll see how that shakes out. And if you want to start your college football viewing this weekend a little bit early, you don't want to wait and say, hey, I don't want to wait until Saturday to watch games. Coming up on Friday night, Houston plays at Memphis. And one of the all-time tradition, when you talk about college football, one of the all-time tradition-rich games. Also, they moved it to a Friday this year. Nebraska at Rutgers.
Excuse me?
Nebraska at Rutgers.
On a Friday night?
Right. Yeah, Friday night.
None of that makes sense.
Nah, probably not. Nebraska 3-point favorite.
Oh, my gosh.
At Rutgers.
At Rutgers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what you got. Pretty good SEC game this coming weekend. Well, a lot of good games, but Tennessee.
I wonder if Oklahoma gets up off the mat. That's a bad 2 weeks for them. Texas peaking after what they did to West Virginia. Get Quinn Ewers back. Oklahoma may be without Dylan Gabriel. That'll be tough for them to get off the mat if they don't have Dylan Gabriel, although he hasn't been great so far, but certainly that's a different team if you have to go to the backup there. Yeah. Line is reflecting that Gabriel may not play. It's up to -7 for Texas. As I sit here now, I'm looking at DraftKings.
But as you well know, what normally isn't supposed to happen in that game happens.
Correct. But if Gabriel's not there, that would be a heck of a yak by Texas if they get beat by a backup quarterback in that game.
What do they do at quarterback for Texas? Card go? Or
they keep saying Ewers is going to be back.
Ewers going to do it.
We'll see.
Okay. More football coming up when we get into textual healing. So, and I'm not sure if Taylor has any of this graphically. I doubt he's got this graphically up there. That probably needs to be the next dimension of our show, where we just need to build like real graphics.
400 shows in, maybe think about that.
Well, I mean, we probably just need to get like real graphics, because when we try to like jury rig the graphics in there, it always looks like you're looking from the space shuttle. Like, yeah, there it is right there. You see that? That is a galaxy. That's a galaxy out there.
No, the pictures of the spacecraft hitting the meteor were 10 times better than what we show on our show, even though that was millions of miles away.
Yeah. Well, we didn't budget it. We need to get that done. All right, so here's our producer, Jonathan, Taylor County, Mineral County, Wirt County, Mercer County, Greenbrier County, Wyoming County, McDowell County, Jingleheimer Smith Kennedy. He put together said document. And what he did was he went and looked at every team in the Big 12 basketball conference, and he took their roster from last year and he compared it to their roster going into this season. And he pulled out how many players each team lost from a year ago, how many players they replaced those with, and how many percent of their scoring, how much scoring did they lose percentage-wise from last season. And it's quite a number all the way around. So here we go. You ready? Do you start at West Virginia or just go the other way?
Go the other way.
Go the other way? Okay, so I'm going to go the other way. Let's go Baylor. So Baylor, right? Solid program. Everything's good to go. Solid program. They lost 6 guys. That means that 53% of their scoring gone from a year ago. Among the players that they lost include Jeremy Sochan, who went to the NBA. He was one and done. Kendall Brown, same deal, one and done. Really good. James Akinjo, who had transferred into their program, was a really good player. And then Matthew Mayer, who was an absolute West Virginia killer in his career, he left and he went to Illinois. Like, that's a wow. My man wins a natty. He wins a national championship at Baylor, plays in another season after they win the natty, and then he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty wild. So they lose 53% of their points. The Texas Longhorns. Chris Beard went in a year ago when he first took the job, and he banged the portal heavy. How did it work out? Got in the NCAA tournament, but
won a game for the first time since 2015 in that tournament.
So, got it. Oh, there it is. Look at, he's got, not bad, not space shuttle-esque for those of you that are watching. But Texas has lost 7 players from last season's team and just under half of its scoring. 48% of their total points from a year are gone. Included among the players lost, Andrew Jones. You remember his great story, battling back from leukemia. Courtney Ramey, who West Virginia was in on to get, but he opted to go to Arizona. Avery Benson, you don't remember him. He came from Texas Tech with Beard, never really did anything, but was a pretty good story. And then one of the guys Texas loses, the very last name on that list, Trey Mitchell, he's now here at West Virginia. So there you go. So they lose 48% of their scoring. Next up, let's go to, make sure I'm doing this the right way, Iowa State. Iowa State, I can't screw this up. Yeah, Iowa State loses. Why am I struggling with this? Where's the red for Iowa State?
I don't see Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa State's underneath. Boy, this is really good. We've done a hell of a job on this, huh?
Move on to the next one. We'll find Iowa State.
Okay.
It's right there. Isn't that the last page? I don't think that's a full roster, though.
Oh, boy. See, ladies and gentlemen, you see what we deal with now with Taylor? I mean, this is what Taylor gives us.
Here, it's half and half. It's half page 1 and then half at the bottom.
On which page?
The same page as West Virginia. Iowa State begins underneath West Virginia.
Okay.
And then it continues with Tyrese Hunter at the top of the last page. You see Tyrese Hunter?
Read it. I can't follow it. Go.
Iowa State, 10 guys are gone off that roster. TJ Otzelberger has totally remade that. The biggest, they were hit hard with 2 guys. Isaiah Brockington, remember how good he was last year? And Tyrese Hunter, the point guard, gone. But you will still see Tyrese Hunter as he is transferred within league to Texas. So they lose those 2 guys. 62% of their total points are gone.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay.
I see it now.
TCU. TCU, winner in the clubhouse. they only lose 3 guys from last season's team, which means, you all ready for this? They lose 3 guys. They lose less than 1% of their offense. That's why some are saying dark horse candidate for a super big run this season.
That might be right.
Not only in the conference, but also in the NCAA tournament.
Remember, they went deep last year. Had Arizona on the ropes late in what was one of the best games of the year in the NCAA tournament. So they went deep in that tournament.
That's pretty amazing. So the guys they lost, you probably don't even remember. Francisco Farabello may have gone back to Italy. I don't know. Harrison Young and Maxwell Evans. Those are those guys. And they replaced those 3. They lose 3. They gain 6. That's good math. And Jamie Dixon might have a little something. He kind of went like, got there, success, flattened when the UCLA coaching job came open, and was he going to go, was he not going to go? And that kind of thing just kind of went for a while, and now it looks like he's back, right? Okay. Next up.
Go to Kansas, because Kansas is interesting.
Kansas. All right. Kansas, defending national champions, lose some big-time talent. Christian Brown, Remy Martin, Ochai Agbaji, David McCormick, Mitch Lightfoot.
You just named a bunch of guys there.
And Jalen Coleman-Lance, who was on his 8th school. But my gosh, Mitch Lightfoot has been at Kansas as long as West Virginia's been in the Big 12.
He was there long.
Seriously.
Replace Percy Ellis. Was that his name? Perry Ellis.
Perry. So Kansas loses 7 dudes and 74% of their offense, 74%. But you go like, okay, man, they're done. Like Kansas, no. They absolutely had an awesome pickup year, including a guy from the Big 12 in Kevin McCullough from Texas Tech. But they've got dudes again. Grady Dick is like a big-time recruit.
But they're young, right? McCullough's their only transfer coming in there. They did not hit the portal as hard as they did the year before.
Yes.
Now, they've got a couple other guys that had transferred in the year before on that roster. But really, if you look at them, Tony, they only return. It's Harris and Wilson. DeJuan Harris and Jalen Wilson are the guys that return that you know. They also have a guy named Cam Martin, who's a former Division II Player of the Year that sat out last year. 6'9" kid.
Right. I remember seeing him. Yeah.
Farbello went to Creighton.
He went to Creighton. Yeah. Okay, cool. So 6 new guys for Kansas. Kansas State, they win the pick for how many dudes did you lose? As you remember, our buddy Bruce, no longer the coach there. And they almost hit the Grand Slammy. They lost 14 guys. 14 dudes. 74% of their total points from last season are gone. 74%. Ismail Massoud and Marquise Noel, who is a diminutive little productive guard, are the only 2 cats that are back. So keep an eye on K-State.
That's like a new coach, all new players. It's like a franchise.
An expansion franchise?
That's what Kansas State now has, a franchise in the league.
Yeah.
They got players from other teams, and see how the young men do.
That's like, there's a line from a guy named David Friedman when the New Orleans Jazz moved to Utah, when we did our Hot Rod Hundley documentary. And he said, it was great. He was just a classic old NBA guy. And he said, we were moving from New Orleans to Salt Lake, and we were bringing a bad team. And I don't know what K-State's going to do, but there's this very strong chance they're going to be picked 10th in the preseason poll, as you might think. Okay, who am I skipping or missing? Oklahoma State. They lose 6 guys. Now keep an eye on these dudes. They lose 6, but only 36% of their offense. Twin brothers, Keelan Boone and Caleb Boone, have been at Oklahoma State for a good while. One of the twins left.
It's weird.
Yeah,
Keelan Boone hit the road.
likely left as well. He's been there forever.
Now a teammate of Sean McNeil at Ohio State.
Correct.
William Likely's been there since Mo Iba. Mo Iba.
What's his name? William? What did I call him? Isaac?
Isaac, William, same thing. It's
Ethan
Isaac.
Boone.
It's Isaac.
Boone went to
William Likely's the
Pacific.
Maryland guy because I usually call him that.
Yeah. Or the guy in
At whatever his first name. I'm glad he's gone.
So 6 guys gone.
He was good. He can play.
Boy, has Oklahoma State become a problem for West Virginia?
Yeah.
They have, haven't
Yeah.
they? It's just like
Been a challenge.
they've been a problem. Continual problem.
You know, somebody to watch too at K-State, Keontae Johnson transferred in. He was at Florida. You may remember him. He collapsed during the 2020 season.
Yes.
And it was a tough situation there, and you didn't know if he'd be able to play again. He's been cleared by doctors, and he's landed at Kansas State. He was an SEC Player of the Year.
Candidate.
So if he's healthy, he's a dude.
Yeah. Oklahoma. Tell you one good name to see gone. Umaja Gibson once hit 71 threes in a game against West Virginia.
Give or take.
Unofficially. But they lost some guys. They lost 8 players. Now, guys, are we all catching the significance of what I'm saying?
Yeah.
TCU's the only team that hasn't lost 6 or more players. Think about that. 10 teams, and one has lost less than 6. And I'm reading these things, right? 13 new dudes at K-State. Oklahoma, 8 new players.
If this were 2 years ago, you'd look at that and go, and if you just did TCU go, wow, TCU lost 6 players.
Yeah, exactly. The story.
Now they're the head of the pack.
That's a good point.
You'd go like this. Hey, TCU lost 6 players. They're going to be terrible.
Yeah.
That's what you would say.
Yeah.
I'd tell you one thing. Those Groveses are back at Oklahoma.
I know. I saw that. I thought they were done.
Done. Did they kill West Virginia last year? At times, both of those guys just crushed us.
It creates all this movement. It creates another odd narrative too, because normally you would come into this and say, "All right, look out for Texas," because Chris Beard in his first year won 22 games, got the NCAA tournament, won their first game in 7 seasons. I just mentioned a minute ago. Now, second year under Chris Beard, they'll know the system a little bit better. They'll be now. It's like what? No, they won't. I don't know if they will. Same system.
You know, another aspect of that, I was thinking about this morning, and I understand and appreciate that now players who had limited mobility forever now have mobility. And I'm for that. That's fine. I think, though, the unfortunate part, because I think 2 things can be true here, and it's true that they have the ability to move, and that's fine, and that's ultimately good for them, is that fans, it used to be, not that long ago, that fans had the ability to watch a player come in and grow and develop a fondness for them or a dislike for them or whatever. But you would watch the player develop, and you would say things like, I remember when he was a freshman and got a little, and he said, I thought a little something in there. And then you'd see them, Brad, for another couple of years. And so you had a chance, even if you never met them, you had a chance to develop an affinity for a player, look forward to a player coming back. And I think that was a significant part of the fan experience. And I know the most important thing is wins, but this new world that we're living in takes away from that part of the fan experience.
Yeah, I'd buy that. But this is new in terms of the massive numbers, but this has been happening a while, especially in basketball.
But not to this degree. Not to
this degree, but you'd have to go back. This would be a good research project, is just take West Virginia and how many guys here over the last decade have played all 4 years at West Virginia. I bet the number. The number's smaller than what you think it is. I get your overall. I get your larger point.
Yeah.
But that's also kind of been the culture around college basketball now for a number of years.
Well said. 2 more teams. Ready? This one surprised me. Texas Tech. They had a great year, right? Very good year. Competitive. Very good. Lost 11 guys. Yeah. They got 10 new dudes. They got 10 guys. 81% of Texas Tech's offense has vamoosed.
Tony, I feel bad for you because it used to be also you'd know the guys, and now you're like, oh, they've got 10 new guys. I got to get to know these guys.
You know what this is like? This is like going down there and do TBT. You got your TBT roster, and they'll go like 20 minutes before the game. Hey, Bobby Smith, Tommy Jones, Hoppy Kercheval, they're all out. We added. You know, that's kind of what this is. That's kind of what this is. And lastly, now West Virginia. West Virginia has 10 players departed from last year. Jalen Bridges, Damon Kerrigan, Isaiah Cottrell, Malik Curry. Sean McNeil, Sonny Njai, Gabe Osaboyan, Paulie Polycap, Taz Sherman, Taj Thweet. The returners, there are 5. Kedrian Johnson, Kobe Johnson, Jamel King, James Okonkwo, and Seth Wilson. The newcomers, Jimmy Bell. Jimmy's got great feet. Josiah Davis, Josiah Harris, Emmett Matthews, Trey Mitchell, Eric Stevenson, Joe Toussaint, Mohamed Wagi, and Patrick Sumnick.
You have to put an asterisk beside Emmett Matthews.
Yeah, return. So West Virginia has 9 new guys. 89% of West Virginia's points from last season gone. 89% of its points are gone.
You talk about a new look. That's a complete overhaul.
Yeah.
Here are the rankings for the most new faces. Most new faces. In first, K-State, 13. In second, Texas Tech, 10. In third, West Virginia, 9. Tied for fourth, 2 teams, Oklahoma and Iowa State with 8. Texas in fifth with 7. Kansas, Baylor, TCU each have 6. Oklahoma State has 4. And TCU has the, what did I say? How many did they have? TCU. Only lost 3 dudes. So they brought in 6. But they did bring in 6. So there you have it, man. So that's why we called the show Transfer Portal Gone Wild. I thought it might be interesting for everyone just to kind of put your hands or eyes on the number of losses, because we talk West Virginia, obviously, all of the time. And you might think that West Virginia is the exception rather than the rule. But the reality of it is West Virginia is just in the mix. Yeah, they're third, but everyone else is right around them. So that's the world that we're living in. We may not like it, but that's what it is.
Tony, let me add another dimension to that, because it's not just about the number of players that left. It's about what they contributed prior to leaving. So, I mean, Taz Sherman was obviously going to go anyway, but you lost Taz Sherman, who was number 2 scoring in the league, averaging 18 points a game, obviously West Virginia's leading scorer. Sean McNeil was 13th in the league, averaged 12 points a game. Nobody else who's back was in the – West Virginia didn't have anybody else in the top 20 in scoring in the league, and obviously nobody else back from this team was in the top 20 in scoring. In rebounding, the number 1 rebounder for West Virginia was Gabe Osaboyan, averaged almost 6 a game. He was number 17 in the league. Nobody else was in the top 20. In the assist category, West Virginia did not have a player in the top 15 in assists. So it's not just about the physical numbers. It's about the people who rebound, score, and provide assists, which were weaknesses last year. And also West Virginia was, 10th in the league in defense, Brad, giving up 69 points a game. So you have so many elements that you have to replace. It's not just about getting guys that can play. It's about all these different parts of the game that you have to fill in these blanks for this coming season. The job here, I think, is mammoth.
It is, and I think those things can be replaced, because the other argument or the counterpoint to that is, yeah, you lost your top scorer, your top rebounder, your top assist guy, but guess what? You weren't any good either, right? You weren't very good last year, so none of that even mattered because you didn't win games. So I think those things can be replaced. I think the biggest question just comes down to, is these guys playing together and playing in a Bob Huggins system? So that's the real question, is how quickly can they gel, figure out whose role is who gets the last shot, who takes the last shot, who's the leader offensively, who's going to get on the offensive glass, how do you manage the lane when different people are in there while learning the Bob Huggins system? So to me, it's the questions about that stuff.
1,000% agree, but that's everyone in the league. So you have all these new faces. I think the question is as much, how do teams gel and how quickly do they come together? It will be as equally as important as who did you bring in. If you do not have everyone on that same proverbial path going down the road, these things will diffuse really, really badly. They'll look ugly.
There's no question. But to Hoppy's point, West Virginia, all these other teams have at least 2 or 3 guys that have been there and done that.
Right.
They've lost a lot, and they're plugging pieces in. West Virginia's plugging everybody in. There isn't a single guy that he just named off there that's back that can kind of guide this.
Okay, so
Yes.
then and again, I'm just going superficially on these numbers, but West Virginia was not a good offensive team last year as well. So then you look at everybody in this roster and you say, where do the points come from? Okay, Emmett Matthews, maybe. I mean, he averaged 12 points a game last year at Washington, had 25 against Oregon, 20 against USC. So maybe can Matthews give you 18 a game? Okay. But then who after that? You brought in Jimmy Bell. He averaged 9 points a game. Kedrian Johnson's back. He averaged 5 points a game. Trey Mitchell, you get from Texas. He's a big guy. He averaged 9 points a game.
I'll give you I'll give you your three guys.
It's Mitchell, Stevenson, Matthews.
Yes.
I mean, there's your three. Yeah, they're going to have to score. If Trey Mitchell doesn't get you 15 a game, I think you're going to have some trouble scoring basketball.
And Stevenson
absolutely
has to be in that
he
13
needs to be
12
12 to 15 points.
And Emmett's
got to be a double-figure score.
Yeah, you got to have those three guys be double-digit scores, and your defense has to take a massive step forward. That was part of it last year. You didn't guard anybody.
Terrible.
So you've got to get those three into double figures or close for maybe the third, and you've got to guard, in my opinion.
By the way, that will be next Friday, the 14th, will be the gold and blue debut for fans that want to come out to the Coliseum. It's free to go in there, so Kirchville might show up.
Who's the alpha?
Eric Stevenson.
Okay.
Is absolutely the alpha.
The journeyman Eric Stevenson?
Yes. And that's a role that needs to be judiciously handled as well. Because normally it's kind of like Lion King. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Lion King, like the big lion's always been around, and everyone kind of looks to the big lion because he's been around, so he knows. So you want to look at the great teams that you've had. It's been the Deshaun Butlers that have been around. They grow into it, and people respect. Now you're bringing guys that are first-year guys in, and that has to happen super quickly. That's my concern, not just with West Virginia, with every team. Where do you focus your respect and your attention to get the – because ultimately the teams that have the most success are the teams that are the tightest teams. Those are the teams that are together. Now, you know, everything's ice cream and rainbows right now everywhere, including West Virginia. Oh, the guys are competitive. They get along, da-da-da-da. When the adversity comes, how do they react will ultimately determine whether this team – grows throughout the season or implodes as the season goes on.
Let me make 2 points about that. First of all, I mean, I think you're right about Stevenson. You know, he's played 97 games.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's played more than anybody else on this team. But second of all, Tony, I know what both of you guys are saying about coming together as a team and, you know, working together. You know what helps with that? Winning. Mm-hmm. So if you're not, if you start winning, yeah, like okay, but if you start down a bad path or lose a couple of games, then that's when you get tested. That's when you get tested to see if a team can hold together.
Yep, that's exactly right. Exactly right.
I mean, team chemistry right now might be fine, but what happens when you lose 3?
Emmett Matthews has played 92 games.
Wow.
Right?
Good to have the young man back.
Yeah.
Well, you've added experience. There's no question you've added guys that have played a lot of basketball. Joe Toussaint's played a lot of basketball. Trey Mitchell's played a lot of basketball. The guys you mentioned, Jimmy Bell. I mean, go right on the list. These guys have all played. It's just they haven't done it here. That's the question.
Yeah, this will be quite an experiment. Quite an experiment. I had the opportunity earlier this week to talk with some folks that are centrally involved in security frauds and schemes that go into businesses and get into their email and take money. One of the really super interesting things was this that I did not know, is that oftentimes businesses don't report it because they don't want their customers to know that they are having issues because that puts their customers in fear. So a lot of this that goes on, no one ever knows about.
Yeah, banks don't like to report embezzlement.
Correct. Thank you. And that's why I bring up our good friends at Comax Business Systems, because they are the ones that can come into your business and to make sure that you are as safe as possible when it comes to your data. They're your full-service Konica Minolta dealer, and they are ready to provide to you 24/7 remote monitoring, giving you peace of mind. They can manage your IT services, manage your voice, manage your phone. They can do all of that. And another thing I thought of, when we started the program, so Burdett Camping is the only warranty forever in the state, and Comax is the only business in the state that has been named an elite dealer by ENX magazine 10 times. No other dealer in West Virginia has ever won the award, not twice, but once. Not twice, but once. Comax Business Systems, folks, they'll make you sleep, if you're a business owner, a lot more smoothly. Visit them at comaxwv.com, KOMAXWV.com. I know you don't want it to be public, but you also don't want to have your business's data infiltrated. What a crime is going on there. It's amazing. Shall we play some music?
Sure.
Why? Let's do it. Just had like a really super momentary little, I was in a mode there. Felt back. I was back in my DJ days. Just kind of felt it. I was looking for the next song to kind of feather in there a little bit.
Segue.
And now here's Hoppy's long distance dedication. All right, boy, we got a lot of reaction to our last show. Apparently there was
Any of it.
Apparently there was a
look through those responses.
There was a segment there that kind of went off the rails. If it did offend you by any stretch, we apologize for that. First off, business update. For those of you that are regulars, you know that we are in the process of hammering out our first sponsorship deal, our first trademark deal of a Three Guys Before the Game product. We see
First NIL deal.
that too. We see the next evolution of Three Guys Before the Game going heavily into the food and beverage industry. And this afternoon at 5 p.m., I will have a meeting with officials from two parties who are interested in creating our first product, which will be a craft beer. It will be involving, there it is, Kircheval, hoppy, triple hops. And we're having that meeting today to see where this thing goes.
Would you buy a beer from this man?
Heck yeah.
He looks like he's about 3 in right there, doesn't he?
I told a guy about it today who doesn't listen to the podcast but knows who you are, and he said, I'd drink that beer. So we'll see how it goes. We'll update you next week. Texter. Love the show. Not at all sports related, but I just heard the Hopster talk about West Virginia being the Overlook state, and I have never related to anything more. I currently reside in southeast Michigan, and when trying to explore here in different areas around the Great Lakes and the Upper Peninsula, person after person hits me with you have to do this scenic drive or go see this scenic overlook. While it's always nice enough, not a single one has ever come close to matching the scenery of a random drive from Montgomery to Fayetteville on a Thursday summer to grab some pies and pints. West Virginia is hard to beat. Patrick, in Detroit, by way of Montgomery.
By the way, again, this is such a beautiful time of year.
Oh, dude.
I mean, there are about 16 days in the year. Started a couple days ago. We'll go to like late August, something mid-August, where it's just spectacular.
I heard you say that on your Gab Fest yesterday when I was driving into Wyoming County.
Ah.
And while you said that, I was thinking the same exact thing. It was perfect.
Yeah.
The leaves are starting, and I was winding through Wyoming County on Bill Withers Highway there, Slab Fork, West Virginia, and I went like, this is postcard.
Yeah.
But you're right. It goes quick. As soon as the rain comes, all those leaves get blowed out.
I mean, it's peaking, and then it's like, oh, I think it's past peak. And then it rains for a day, and they're all down.
Yeah.
So you have to really enjoy it. It sends me in a panic because I think it's going to be over soon. Like, I have to enjoy it. Yeah. And then it's over.
Kind of like light and dark. It gets dark early, too, anyway. Side note, Patrick adds, if you need any musical entertainment for this upcoming season's Huggins show, my brother, who performed at this past year's Huggins Fish Fry, and I would love to help. We play violin and fiddle, and if you name it, we can play it. Just let us know. I like that. We need more and more live music.
I think we're accumulating food, drink, music.
That's right where we need to be.
We need accommodations.
We're going to open a bar restaurant here soon.
We're going in the service industry.
We're going to have an Airbnb. kind of like Bob Newhart at that lodge up in Vermont. This next text is the shortest one of the show. Will it get better? ? Depressed fan from Wirt. That's all it was.
Yeah, well, that kind of summarizes it.
So it's somewhere in the middle, my depressed friend. Somewhere in the middle. We'll get through. Scopes, spreads, and cube. We just dried our eyes from laughing at your off-topic discussion about scenic overlooks from episode 406. No conversation about scenic destinations in West Virginia is complete without mentioning Hoo Hoo Holler in Fayette County. Taylor, can you bring up Hoo Hoo Holler, please,
like that name.
for our board? I think I've got Hoo. There it is, Hoppy.
Oh,
Hoo Hoo Hollow Road.
Nice. Love that.
Steve and Pat from Tornado. They're the San Marzano Tomato folks. P.S. We both retired. Look forward to watch every episode of your show. We can't imagine not making it to 800 episodes.
Wouldn't you like to know how it got to, and maybe they know and can respond, how that name came about of Hoo Hoo Holler?
I don't know. Yeah. If you know, Steve and Pat, let us know why it's Hoo Hoo. Jeff and Scott Depot. I'm listening to episode 406 while I'm on my run this morning. I've got a couple of questions and comments. Hoppy said the secondary does not have experience. I thought in the preseason, coaches were bragging about playing experience of the guys that they brought in and transfers. I believe on the show you guys were saying how many games they had played at their previous schools. Don't you think the problem may be our starters transfer to other Power Fives and we get transfers from the lower division schools? I think we need to see our defensive back starters keep transferring out. I know some will transfer, but the secondary seems to be excessive.
You know, I'll make a comment about that, is that we did cite some of those guys who were coming in who'd played a lot of football, Brad, but also in listening to Steve Dunlap, who coached defenses and coached defensive backs, said, okay, but you got to bring the group together. You got to get on the same page with language and signals. You know, so even though some of those guys have experience, you're still learning anew. And it's not like they've played together for a couple years.
Yeah, and you just haven't had one hit. I mean, you've had success pulling from other levels. Alonzo Adai was very productive here. Charles Woods, until he got injured, had come up from the FCS level. And you just haven't had it hit with these guys. And you are still playing some young guys. I mean, what's Burks? Redshirt sophomore. Jacoby Spells is playing a lot of snaps now. I mean, you do have some youth back there as well.
I mean, there's no way around the fact that the secondary just got absolutely gutted. And it's basically a start over. So, Jeff, to your point, I remember how you guys were saying how many games they had played at their previous schools. Yes, that's true. But I went out of my way to continue to say we'll have to wait and see how quickly they can adjust. I kept telling you that because I know that it's not an instant, if at all. So that was my big deal. Yeah, they have played a lot of games, but you have to wait to see what it takes for them to get comfortable. And right now, that's obviously not happened. Texter. Remember a few episodes ago when the super secret basketball scrimmage was mentioned? I believe Spreads mentioned how he always hopes to find a leaked box score. Well, one of the best things about having Emmett Matthews back is that we can rely on his dad to tweet a picture of it. Also, question for Scopes. When Texas announced they were leaving the Big 12, were you more worried about West Virginia landing on its feet or the fact that you would not be able to eat the barbecue in Austin? No, much more West Virginia landing on its feet. There's plenty of barbecue all over the place.
Kansas City.
Oh, boy, anywhere.
Don't start.
Houston.
Bees.
Lubbock. Lubbock got some fine barbecue. Kyle from Morgantown. Anthony, Bradley, and Harvey. I want to share how my Austin trip was despite the poor outcome. I'm sorry for the length. Friday night, I ate at Cooper's Barbecue, and it was incredible. 10 stars, Tony. Go next time. There, look at no, that's the wrong picture, Taylor.
Oh.
Wrong picture. That's the wrong
That
picture.
looked good though. I'd eat one of those right now.
Sunday, I played golf with my cousin Clark and Uncle Tommy
that?
at the University of Texas Golf Club. $85,000 a year membership for the
Whoa.
private course. That's why Texas has so much money. Okay, Taylor, now you put the golf picture in there. This is where my cousin works. Pictures attached. By the way, had a layover in Dallas, disappointed not to find P1 Jason in Jason's Deli. I asked, and they thought that I was crazy. Did he show the picture of the three dudes? He showed the picture of the three. Did you show the picture of Kyle? Yeah, there he is.
There we go.
Oh,
There's
there
my
you go,
guy.
Kyle.
Yeah,
Kyle
there's
from
Kyle.
Morgantown.
Yeah, you know Kyle.
Good trip.
Kyle's on the far right for those scoring at home. $85,000 a year membership at the golf course, Hoppy.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
a little steep.
yeah. You're going crazy over the cost of a cupcake. Anyway, scopes, spreads, and Hoppy to the third power. As I am northbound on the glorious Interstate 79 on my way to work in Morgantown, crossing the storied Uffington Bridge, I was literally laughing out loud at the new Three Guys Tourism podcast. In reflection, I think we buried the lead on that one. It was not lost on me that with frequent all due respects you will give to the Woffords, Long Islands, and Rutgerses, I feel that you entered a new genre when Hoppy decided to all due respect the Austin and by association everywhere else overlooks. It brought some joy and laughter to my otherwise bland morning. Keep up the good work. P2 Forest in Morgantown.
No, we did say with all due respect.
We did.
Yeah.
It would be a good tourism commercial. Put that just musical country roads
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
underneath it.
Yeah.
That's just saying all the places.
Of the Uffington Bridge? Or other places?
No, us naming all those places.
That probably wouldn't cut mustard down there at the state capitol. Probably wouldn't get it passed on.
They're running one now on television. It's beautiful, and they show West Virginia scenery, obviously, and it's a different version of country roads. You've
Yeah,
heard that,
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're talking
that's
about
what I
that
was
one?
referring to. You put us on
I'm
top
sorry.
of that. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that
okay.
version.
Now, I don't think that's a fit with us.
You don't think it goes?
However, our record producer, David, might want to take that snippet and put it underneath there. Hint. P1 Jason.
I don't hear other podcasts out there promoting tourism like this one. That's all I know.
We're all about West Virginia.
Forest Festival this weekend.
Oh, really?
Start with festival.
What about the Black Walnut Festival? That happened
I
yet?
don't know. I just
Strawberry Festival?
That's already, no, that's already.
Buckwheat Festival.
next
Buckwheat was
weekend
last.
is Bridge Day next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Next weekend.
Hey, if that were you, if I told you to jump off a bridge, would you? Yeah.
Just because somebody jumps off a bridge,
Yeah.
you're going to jump off a bridge?
I like them festivals. Berries. Black walnuts. Huckleberry pie.
Pumpkin Fest.
Forest Festival. Queen of the Forest.
Not doing it.
Clarksburg Italian Festival.
Stop it. We'll never get through.
Read the next one.
P1 Jason in Mobile checking in. I hear a lot of our fans fussing, comparing us to Kansas of late. They keep wondering why Kansas can do it, but we can't. They keep saying they got Leipold and we got Brown and all this. Yes, Leipold has done well and won the transfer portal. Leipold is also going to be gone in the very near future. With moderate success, I can envision Neil sticking with us for the long term and raising his family here, so I like Neil Brown. Yes, he needs to get a few things cleaned up, but I like his message, his recruiting, his communication, most importantly, what he stands for as a human. He's a lot like
most of us, I think.
He's a lot like most of us, I think, said my spelling teacher. Rome wasn't built in a day.
You got this next game. I know we'll talk about it next week. It looms large. Got to get the home games now. If you want to get to 6, got to get some home games here.
Hello, gentlemen. Tyler in Fayetteville. Aside from the Texas debacle, which I still have a gut punch feeling from, did you see a few weeks ago from the Pitt, Rhode Island game? Pitt scores with little over a minute left in the game, up 20-something. At this point, Rhode Island got called for roughing the kicker on the extra point. Next play on the kickoff, the kicker actually kicked himself an onside kick, Pat McAfee style. The Pitt coaches were hot, but boy, did I get a good laugh out of that one. Even if it was Pitt, good to see kickers taking matters into their own hands from one kicker, myself, to another. Texter. Hey, guys, Ted in Warrenton, Virginia, the train guy. A thought that captures my view, but I think many WV fans aren't expecting 10 or more wins. We just want relevance and to see others, but especially Kansas, obtain that level of relevance hurts. It's been a long time since we were ranked and even part of the discussion. This takes some of the fun out of our favorite sport. I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah, I think that does reflect. I mean, to me, that is a really good summation. It's not about fire the coach or stick with the coach regardless. It's just you want to be, Brad, you want to be relevant. You want to be relevant in the league. You want to be relevant in the discussion. You want to be in part of the national discussion when there's a big game. You want to be relevant.
You do. And Texas or Kansas is having its moment.
Yeah.
There's no question. They've had a great month. They've had a god-awful 15 years, but they've had a great month.
Texter.
Yes.
Gentlemen.
In fact, they've been in the news for being so bad.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what people forget. I know that they're the one to point to right now, but it's been a long time coming for that group.
Texter. Gentlemen, as this year has shown, our beloved Mountaineers are not as good as we had hoped. In the 5 stages of grief, God dang it.
What
in
is
the 5
are you
stages
okay?
Excuse me? Is that a challenge? You want me to read the rest of these without making a mistake?
No.
Go ahead, challenge me. Say it.
Yes. Read the rest of them without making a mistake.
And the 5 stages of grief have clearly been met. Denial, pit game. That was a catch. We had that game. If only Neil would have gone for it. Anger. I can't believe Kansas beat us. Bargaining. I know it's Towson, but if we play like that all year, we'll be good. Depression. Road game win at Virginia Tech. Let's put on a happy face and act like they weren't receivers running free. Acceptance. Texas is the better team, and maybe we can upset someone in the Big 12. Signed by Chris and Marietta via Mullins.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate for the stages of grief, yeah.
Texter, just listen to the last episode. I think West Virginia's Department of Tourism just found its newest spokesman. Might have to highlight the best pepperoni roll locations on your next tourism commercial. Texter, I know people don't like it, but can the Thursday show be a West Virginia tourism show where you guys talk about different places you guys have been around the state? Sure.
Top of your head. Other than here, where we all reside, favorite part of the state.
Mm-hmm.
It's favorite part of the state.
Greenboro County, Monroe County.
Brad?
We had a great trip to Snowshoe a couple years ago.
That would be right there.
That was way up there.
It's breathtaking.
That was breathtaking.
Yeah. Canaan Valley.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Texter, I think it's time for the listeners' annual apology to Tony. It's getting dark earlier, and we did not take advantage of the long days when you told us to. We will try again next year. Sincerely, all who listen, beat Baylor.
That was just because you expressed surprise that days get shorter.
That was
like,
your...
Do you know the days get shorter?
I don't think that was correct
What
perception
happened?
of how I said that.
Brad, what did he say?
I don't know. He says that so much, I don't remember a specific incident.
Does
he
he come in every day and go, the days
for
are good?
years. For years he does that.
Does he come in and go, the sun set at 7:12,
Yeah.
and yesterday it set at 7:14.
Yeah, right at the end of June, he starts.
Oh, long before June.
Yeah, but
I
the
tell
longest
people-
days in June.
I tell people
No,
to
that's
get...
why he starts. That's why it keeps coming up.
I
As
started
you get
like
into
in
that
March.
last week of June when the days start to go the other way, then he's every day.
I drive my wife nuts because if you sit on my back deck,
That's a shocker.
the sun, I see where the sun sets, right? And as the days get shorter, the sun moves
Yeah.
farther this way. So I'm
Right.
sitting over there with Karen. Say, look at the sun. It's moving over. She's like, what are you talking? Stop talking about where the sun is. What are you talking about? I said, because in June, the sun sets here. And then by October, we're sitting outside enjoying the fall colors, and the sun sets over here.
To get your back a little bit, just last night had this discussion with my youngest on the way home from dance about how dark it was at 8 o'clock.
What'd
and
she
if
say?
it was July, we'd still be out.
Yeah.
She agreed. She doesn't like
Did
the
you ask
early
the question,
darkness.
like, Dad, why does it get darker?
No, she didn't know.
You
Just
know what hit
accepted
me?
it for fact and moved on with her life, and I couldn't. I was
We
still
can't.
dwelling that it was dark.
But you know what hit me this
She went on to
morning?
The next thing.
What got me this morning is the clocks are going to change here pretty soon, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Then it gets super dark.
It
That
does?
really sucks.
Like at 1:30, like at 1:30 in the afternoon, it's pitch black.
Have lunch, dark.
Went in for lunch, it was light. Came out for lunch, it was dark.
By 1:30 in the afternoon, like when the clocks change, 1:30, it's complete pitch black.
It's the worst.
But you know what? After that, it starts getting light again. Early.
December 21st, it starts to get light again. That's when I get on my. That's when I get on my horse and tell people to get out there and enjoy it. Good day, gentlemen. Just had 2 questions. I don't know. I know nothing about this. Just saw on a TikTok about men playing professional women in sports, and WV was mentioned as playing the Washington Lynx. Can you speak to this?
I don't know that.
Zero. I have no idea whatsoever what that is.
This is the first I've heard of that.
When it was, who was involved in the score. I just thought it was interesting. I knew nothing about that. After all my lost texts, I find hearing your responses to be cathartic, and I'm usually in a much better mood. Of course, I also couple my listening with eating my emotions. What do you find to be cathartic after a loss? Do you run a 5K, 5 pounds of brisket and gravy? Scream into the night? Just curious. As always, thanks for what you do. Philip in Tampa. Oh, I mean, I take my mind off of it.
Yeah.
Normally on Sunday, I just go in the kitchen and just cook and cook and cook. Don't think about it for a while. Josh in Colorado, long-time listener, first-time texter. When you guys discussed what was normal, aberration, or outlier, it's become very apparent that losing and failure to execute is the norm under Neil Brown. Trusting the climb has lost its muster, especially in year 4. Tell me how Leipold at Kansas, yes, Kansas, the former armpit of the Big 12 in football, takes a team to be ranked in the top 25 and 5-0 in 2 years. This is not something that Brown has done in 4. Something has to give. Make it make sense. Well, I would say a couple of things. That they, after a very, very long wait, finally got things to come together for them. And when you've got a special quarterback that can hurt you with arm and with feet, you can put some things together. I don't think, yes, they're 5-0. They got losses coming. Now, I'm not taking one single thing from them. Great chance they're going to go to a bowl. But don't think they're going to contend for the championship. They've got a nice turnaround. The hard part is doing it over and over and over again.
That'll be fascinating to see what this has done, this start has done to the expectations for them. Not only the remainder of this year, where it does get more difficult. Again, credit to them. They had a 1.5 win total. They've gone way over that. They should be playing for a bowl. But what's that do for expectations, especially if he comes back and signs a giant new contract? Do they need to get to a bowl next year? I mean, is that where the bar has moved for them? Because I don't think winning 3 anymore is going to do it. So they've got some work ahead of them too.
Mm-hmm.
Just be interesting to watch from a expectation perspective, from a fan base that's used to winning national titles, that's now completely back on the football bandwagon. Where does that thing go from what they want to see moving forward?
P1 Jason in Dallas checks in. I would have handicapped a Fairmont wave pool mention at around plus 17,000. The fact that it happened just speaks to the top shelf quality of this podcast. I also like to note that the Fairmont wave pool has 4.5 stars on Google, while the South Park wave pool in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania only has 4.2. So put that in your pipe and smoke it, Pittsburgh. I'm excited for the basketball preview. I hear guys are scoring the ball. I also heard some similar that guys are making shots. I guess the odds are it's true this time because with 146 new players, at least one of them has to be a scorer. Personally, I'm not too worried if we have a score because I actually prefer winning rock fights that end 55-54.
Now you can do that, but you got to hold them to 54.
Yeah. I need some advice. I'm trying to up my hot sauce game. My cabinet usually has Tabasco, Frank's, Texas Pete, Louisiana, and some words I can't say, and Valentina. Not that they're dirty, I can't pronounce them properly. Any recommendations?
I'm not a hot sauce person. I mean, I just would get something off the shelf. That's what I do. We always have it, but I don't know anything about it.
I would tell you this, Jason. This is not a hot sauce, but our buddy, Luke Darnell, who's a world champion barbecuer from here in Morgantown, multiple world champions, he has a mustard vinegar sauce. Did you ever try that, Senator?
No. Did I get some of that?
I gave you that.
You did?
Yes. He's got a mustard vinegar, yes, that is outstanding. Look it up. Luke Darnell. Yes, I gave it to you. Really good. P.S. That was the first coin toss we won this year, and we took the ball. If I had any hair, I've pulled it out already. Love the show.
Well, I don't know. The way the defense was going that night, you could have defended first and given up a touchdown. So,
yeah. Texter. Well, gentlemen, that was probably the best podcast I've seen you guys do. Watching y'all enjoy doing this with each other and cracking up was terrific. Also made me realize I need to watch more of these on West Virginia Metro News' website instead of listening to the podcast. Otherwise, I would have missed out on Hoppy laughing so hard that I wasn't sure he was going to live through the episode. Have a great day, gentlemen. Curtis in Portland. Thank you, Curtis. Hopefully I'll see you there when the world champion Mountaineers go play in the PK 85 basketball tournament coming up next month. Stop by and say hello.
I did cry. I laughed so hard I cried.
Well, I had a couple people.
I did.
A couple people said they were crying when they saw you dabbing. Like you were dabbing your face.
You did go handkerchief dabbing.
I was crying and had a little bit of a sweat going.
Yeah, I don't know, it made me sweat too.
Like, it's getting warm in here.
Hopper's Ferry. Gentlemen, the obvious question about this basketball team is where will the offense come from? CL and Clarksburg. I think we hit that, bud.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be Stevenson, Mitchell. Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
Texter. Hello. Rachel, Martinsburg. I guess I'll be breaking my own rule because this text will have nothing to do with WVU sports, but oh well. I want to reassure you all that I never, and I mean never, fast forward through any of your episodes. So yes, I did hear my text read Monday. I absolutely love your show, and I'm constantly refreshing my podcast app until a new Three Guys pops up. Although I do find your food and fig tree talk amusing, it is the textual healing segment that keeps me coming back for more. Misery loves company, and I want to know what other Mountaineer fans feel the same way that I do after disappointing loss. Keep up the good work, and I love the show. There you go.
What's your alarm for? You got an alarm?
Yeah, I was supposed to call somebody at 2. But I said after 2, so I'm good until tomorrow.
that would be after 2.
Texter. No, this is not a texter. This is a letter we received. Folks, you're about to see something super neat.
A letter?
A letter.
In the mail?
Well, no, it was given to us with this product.
Oh, okay.
We had a hand delivery. Just before the show came on, our buddy Mark, who at times produces this show, brought us this box sitting here. I'll pick it up, Taylor. This box sitting here and this letter. And it's from Mark's dad. Dear Mr. Kercheval, how dare you treat my son like that? Oh, wrong letter.
Wrong letter.
To give him a $5 Boston Beanery gift certificate after he worked for 41 straight hours is... I'm sorry. Wait, let me flip this over to the other side. Wrong letter there. Tony, Brad, and Hoppy, I hope you guys enjoy the cookies in this box. They are just a token of the thanks for the entertainment you guys bring to me on my long drives throughout our beautiful state selling motorcycle and ATV parts.
Oh.
So many times I am driving along and laughing out loud or commenting back to you about a topic. The conversations that go sideways are just priceless and so much like I do with my friends to the point of tears in our eyes. Just fun stuff to feel like I am part of it. And to top it all off, I am a well-informed fan and can appreciate what I see in a better way. Thanks again. Please keep up the great work. I can't retire for another 10 years, so I need shows beyond 800.
Wow. Okay.
Sincerely, Mark Spruill. Now, thank you very much, Mark. We certainly do appreciate it. Great. And this was, well, hang on, Taylor. I mean,
Wait till the talent calls for it.
Taylor. He gets none of those cookies. We ran into him. The whole way we met Mark was because we did a 3 guys meetup at Daniel's Menswear. Daniel's Men's Store. We met him.
Mention.
Well, I'm just telling you where it was. We met his dad. His dad starts talking to us, tells us about Mark. He got one of them there golf scholarships at Alderson Broadus, and then they canceled the program before he ever put a club in his hand.
Oh, well.
So he transferred to West Virginia.
Went in the portal.
Came to WVU, and ever since he came to WVU, he's been with us.
Yeah.
So anyway, his sister not only bakes cookies, she makes custom-made cookies that are not cookies, they're art. All right, Taylor, Mr. Happy Fingers, let's show some of these cookies that were in this box. These are each individualized cookies. You see, you've got one there that says spreads. That's the green football, the green for the money. The dean, that's a graduation cap with a tassel. The coach, Coach Hunter. And then the state of West Virginia, obviously. Okay, Taylor, hit another one here.
Scopes is up there. Don't bypass Scopes.
Okay, yeah, Scopes.
Black with the orange.
yeah.
Yeah, Scopes is Scope.
It's a scope.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, Taylor, next one, please. Look at this. Give us a couple of hellos. 3 guys before the game cookie. Next one, please. How about this one, folks? So they can customize whatever you want. So it's a great day to be a Mountaineer wherever you may be, and individual cookies. There are very few words left as we record right now that you're seeing right now. Those are digested.
Those A, to,
did you all kill
B,
that?
U, may be. Yeah, those might be all gone. The little ones.
Mountaineer and wherever are still around, but I think all the other small little words.
We popped the small ones.
Anything else, Taylor? Is that it?
That's really
oh, yeah.
cool.
Oh, look at this. So you got Hoppy Cookie, the voice of West Virginia, TC, and the Senator. So let me just tell you all something.
Oh, there's one more.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Hoppy. Hang that one right there for a second. Oh, there you go. So that's her website, Maddie Bakes. She's available on Instagram. She's available on Facebook, custom makes cookies. So if something that you're seeing there, when you go like, you know what, that would be neat if we did this for X, Y, or Z.
Wouldn't that make a nice gift?
Yeah,
Be a great
absolutely.
gift.
I mean, because it's personalized and somebody gets that because, I mean, it's nice to you.
Not the 3 guys cookies. You mean? You mean
No,
have
no.
Maddie
Anything you want.
personalize them for?
Right, personalized.
Yeah, I don't think they'd want 3 guys.
So you want to personalize the bread for the people that you're giving it to.
I might order some have her make a foot, and
What?
it just says Jimmy's got great feet. I might do that. Jimmy Bell's got great feet.
Take those over to the complex.
Take him over to the Coliseum. So Jimmy's got great
So
feet.
on Instagram, Maddie's at MaddieBakes.wv. She's
Yeah.
on Facebook and Instagram.
So her
The
brother who
website,
brought
is
the
it-
cookies there, like she airbrushes stuff. She does all that kind of stuff. I thought it was really super neat. So thank you so very, very much. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, she has 5 stars.
Well, sure.
Well, why wouldn't she?
We tasted them too, and they're super good. Texter, what's the chance of getting Joe Mazzulla on the show? Pretty busy, right?
What a story. I watched most of their game last night. Lost in overtime, unfortunately.
We're in a pullover.
Yeah. Looks good. Looks like he belongs right on the sideline.
Sure. How about that? Amazing.
He's got a loaded team.
Well,
He have the shortest odds to win the Eastern Conference. I mean, he didn't just walk into an NBA job here.
Yeah, no.
He's got dudes.
Most
Those
of the
guys
time-
listen and buy in. This could be a fun ride.
Ooh.
They got to buy in. They got to listen.
You imagine that story if they. Ooh.
Well, he's gold. If they're good, first of all, if they're good, I think he's the next Celtics head coach.
Really?
I think that thing's open. So if they're good and everybody buys in, he stays there. And if he doesn't, I mean, he's writing his ticket. Great opportunity. A lot of pressure. Unique opportunity.
Yeah, 'cause
with that
most
good
of-
of a team.
Most of the time when you get your first NBA job, it's in a club that's just garbage, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Hey, 3 guys, Chad in Rochester. Tony, you've mentioned your sister lives in Greece. Just wondering if you have a favorite local Rochester restaurant or garbage plate establishment that you go when you visit. Always looking for some good eats up here. So for those that don't know and wonder what the heck, Greece is a small little something out of what would you call that, little suburb of Rochester, Greece. So she doesn't live in Greece. She lives in Greece, New
I
York.
wondered when I heard that. I thought,
Yeah,
I didn't know your
Greece,
sister
New
lived in
York.
Greece.
Yeah. I really don't. Not there a ton, but I did send him. My nephew's a big boy chef. I sent him. Garbage plate is the famous thing in Rochester, New York. So the garbage plate is like anything and you would love it. It's eggs, potatoes, sausage, hot sauce, onions, peppers, just like, and that's a big Rochester, New York thing. Nick Tahoe's used to be the famous place that made it. Now I understand they're out of business, but people have garbage plates there. And just
With all that stuff?
Yes.
Oh,
so lots of times people go out and socialize at night, and then the last stop is they go get that for various digestive reasons.
Yes.
Kind of tap some things down. So that's the
well, that sounds good.
So I sent him my nephew's there now. He just took a job as executive chef at a restaurant there. He was in New York City as a chef for years. Big boy chef.
Really?
And then when COVID happened, he went, I'm out. Done. No more New York for me. I'm done. So he went back to Rochester, and he's
cooking there?
He's cooking there. Yeah. Have
you seen The Bear? The show The Bear?
I thought you meant Hugs. I thought you were talking about Hugs.
It's a story. This guy, he was a famous chef, and he's in Chicago, and he's going back to work in his family sandwich shop. But there's a lot of cooking involved.
I like that. Pete in Pennsboro, I was curious how Neil Brown was faring compared to others hired during the same year and during the COVID portal era. Attached are the results. There's not much evidence that firing a coach gets you anywhere. Kansas is the example everyone uses, but they are a massive exception, and even took them 2 hires in many years to get it right. The only other example that everyone uses is Baylor. They've actually only had 1 good season under Aranda. This year isn't looking great. Signed, Pete in Pennsboro. Pete gets the last word. Stand by 1 second. There was one other thing that I got. Last thing. You guys remember David and the train tour that he took?
Did he finally get home?
Thank you for asking. From David, this will be the last time I bother you with an email, but I thought you might want to know the final report, not necessarily for the Three Guys podcast, but just for your personal interest.
Well, too late.
Which now is on the podcast.
We got back to Morgantown this morning. No problems after departing Austin Tuesday morning. We loved our train trip. We also enjoyed the Austin areas. We watched the bats under the bridge, visited the LBJ Library Museum, toured their state capitol, walked on the trendy South Congress area, checked out the Circuit of the Americas road race course to get my mind off of the football game. Thanks for the tip on Valentina's Tex-Mex barbecue. We had dinner there on Sunday, and it was great. There it is. There's the trailer. I explained to them that the Mountaineer announcer had sent us there. I can see why they've been featured in Time Magazine, the Wall Street Journal, as well as in Texas publications. I never had seen chopped brisket before, and it was melt-in-your-mouth delicious. That's the sandwich, Taylor. Put the sandwich one you used earlier. That's the chopped brisket sandwich. I almost forgot to take a picture of my sandwich before I finished it, as you can see. Because you're such a foodie, which is why I sought your recommendation for where to eat, I thought you might like to learn more about our food options on the train. And he gives me an example of what he ate on the train. There you go. Salmon, Atlantic salmon, Hoppy. Yeah. Wrapped in shrimp. Good eats. Obviously, the game was a disappointment. We're behind them. We don't criticize. Getting ready for Baylor. And then next year, going to take the train to Fort Worth to watch TCU game.
Love those trains.
Thank you very much, David.
That's another big attraction in Austin is the food trucks. And they'll have parking lots. There'll be like 6 or 8 trucks parked there.
Yeah. So that place there, that Valentina's, the whole compound, they didn't build a restaurant. They just have food trucks stacked. And they're all their food trucks. They just go cook here, and then they bring it over here. It's all food trucks.
Sometime well, if you ever get to go back again, I mean, one of my favorite spots there is Rainy Street. You've heard about Rainy Street? Everybody talks about 6th Street, but 6th Street's the big drunk thing and kind of nasty, actually.
Smells bad down there on a Saturday morning.
Well, people pass
Friday
out.
nights.
But Rainy
walk
Street,
down there and be hosing that off. Woo! What's that smell? You know what that smell is.
Rainy Street is about a half mile from there, and it was a residential area, and all the houses have been turned into bars and restaurants. So it's pretty cool. And then right across the street is a big parking lot, Brad, and they have like 6 food trucks there. So you have a couple beers, go over and
So you're more impressed by the food trucks and the overlooks?
Oh, yeah.
Fair.
Oh, yes. I mean, you want food trucks, go to Austin. You want overlooks, come to West Virginia. Don't come to West Virginia looking for the food trucks necessarily. We do have food trucks, but not the kind of selection.
Yeah. We don't have a tremendous selection of food trucks in West Virginia. There's that grilled cheese thing up there on Willie Street. You don't see a whole lot of those.
We had one that was coming to our neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah. For a while. It was very good.
How's it get through the gate? There's a Demas sausage truck over there on the Saltwell Road exit outside the parking lot where the Dunkin' Donuts is. That's there all the time. Flashing lights on that and everything like that. I always wonder, like, how good. That's pretty good sausage, I bet you.
I can eat a grilled cheese right now.
I could go for a sausage sandwich right now.
Yeah, I could do that too.
Yeah. All right, well, folks, I'll let you know how the meeting goes today on the first product of 3 guys before the game. This probably will go a long way in determining if, in fact, there will be an 800th episode. Because if we can't get any tread going and forward movement, we probably will shut the thing down. However, if we see a brighter future, a light at the end of the tunnel that would make this viable, then there might be 800. If not, 450's coming quick.
Are you appreciating there's a meeting going on about a beer named after you?
You know,
are you grasping that?
I'm appreciative of it. I have no business sense. You guys do. Tony really does. So I'm appreciative of it. I just don't know what to make of it yet. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be like, it's going to be a buffoonery.
They're laughing with you or they're laughing at you?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what that's going to be. And
you start putting them Benjamins in your pocket, you don't care who's laughing
but
at you.
I do see, I would like to have, if it happens, because my wife would never listen to the podcast. I mean, is that, let's say it happens. So into like 4 months, ready, and we go over to the apothecary and just like lay that on her.
Well, so she's got,
yeah, you know what? I have no idea what's coming.
oh, that's good. So she never listens to this, huh?
No, she has no. So wouldn't that just lay that on? So I got to keep this all under wraps until it happens.
You know what you do when you walk in that day with her? She sits down, you sit down. Hey, what we can get you? You just go like, look at the bartender. You go, I'll have one of me. Excuse me, Karen will look at you. What the hell are you talking about? I'll just have one of me.
Well, she'll be stunned that he's ordering first of all. So that'll be the first part.
Yeah, that's true.
That'll be a heck of a surprise day for her.
Karen will say, but Hoppy, don't you want to know how we do it normally? I'll slide a note over like a ransom note to the bartender.
Oh, this is classic.
We'll let you know, folks, back on Monday. Oh, so next, we got to talk about next. I got a situation next week.
Uh-oh.
We're fine for the preview Monday. Then the other thing, we're going to go, what do y'all call that, Hoppy, when they go into executive session?
Executive session.
We're going to have an executive session on after the Baylor game. Okay. All good. Thanks very much.
I'm not doing it at 1 a.m.
Okay. 3 guys before the game is brought to us by Comax Business Systems. It's going to be 2 guys before the game. Your full-service Konica Minolta dealer. Go to Comax Business Systems at comaxwv.com. And by the Burdett Camping Center. Don't you dare forget to text the picture from the West Virginia Baylor volleyball match, which takes place this Saturday at the Coliseum, 304-404-4083, and you will win that awesome cooler backpack, 304-404-4083. The music bed only has 12 more seconds before the music ends, and because we're professional, I have to stop speaking before the music goes away, so all I can say is, see y'all.